So how's it going, people? In this video we're going to be going over some levels in which I will be watching closely in the next coming days to weeks to essentially allow us to understand where exactly we could enter some positions for some strong momentum trades. And to start this off, let's just quickly go over a quick recharge for you if I move my head. So this is not a current breakout, what we're going to be going over in this video. This is just a potential for a stock to go parabolic, which is my favorite word. It is such a nice word, isn't it? Parabolic. This video is going to be over resistance levels essentially, and where you could potentially consider a momentous position within the stocks, the stocks which will be presented in this video. And for your information, we're going to be going over SOFI, AMD, Novo Nordisk, OSCR Health, Eli Lilly and Robinhood. So there is a very wide breadth of stocks here, and Robinhood is the only exception, which is the stock which is actually breaking out, but it's looking as if it's starting to hit a big level of resistance now, but it could still potentially go up, but we'll get onto that later on. You must understand that your capital will be at risk when you do invest. That's obviously important, but even more importantly, please consider subscribing because these videos are completely free to watch. So let's start this off by taking a look at SOFI Technologies. Okay, so straight off the bat, SOFI does look to have a fair amount of momentum behind it at the moment, with its wick hitting this first level of resistance. It did go past its main level of resistance on Friday, and it did close above this, which is really positive. So it could be opening up next week with a lot of momentum, but it's similar to this. It could also fall down massively. So there are three key notable levels of resistance before this stock can really potentially break off, and that is at the the $14.47, the $0.65 and the $0.78 range. So there is still a lot of resistance in the way of SOFI potentially breaking out, but when it does, from here there could potentially be a 20% upside. So on the MACD indicator down here on the day chart, we can see that it is in a long position. Just about, it's barely just broken through. The volume is on its side, and if we do look at my indicator here, it's been in a long position for approximately 2, 3, 4 weeks now. So it does look to be a good stock to be momentum trading, even from this standpoint. So if you did get in earlier on, well done. Do continue to hold, because this stock could definitely go up from here. So for me, it does look to be as if it is set up in a really juicy position right now. But for me, I'm going to be waiting until around the $14.64 level before I can really see that it is having a potential breakout. Now, again, it is obvious to say that there is still a possibility that it could fall down from there, because SOFI is very volatile, and it is actually forming some sort of an upside down head and shoulders here, which you can see. So there is a potential for it to just go like this, but again, it's really hard to call SOFI because it's been doing this for a while now. And when we do look at the price targets for a 12-month period for SOFI, it still looks to be as if it's undervalued on the higher side, but when you do consider the average, it's actually now overvalued. But again, you can't see it because I'm in the way. But so we can now take this information forward for SOFI and actually decide on whether or not this looks like it's going to be a good stock to buy. So for me, I have this stock to be undervalued personally. Is the MACD a bullish crossover? Well, just about yes. On double, yes, because it's on a bullish crossover on the standard MACD and on my own formula, which accounts for RSI and all that fun stuff. Is it trading above a 50-day EMA? Yes. And a 200-day? Yes. We can double check this, but I'm almost certain I might have actually just completely made that up. Come on, when will it show? It's not going to show now until I remove you. So it is actually trading above both all of its EMAs, which is incredibly strong. So that is when a lot of hedge funds and big whales will like to get into these positions, because it shows a significant level of support. Do analysts rate it undervalued? Well, no, they currently don't. And is there a current confirmed breakout? Well, to an extent, Yes, it is definitely on an upwards trajectory at the moment, and with it closing above its recent level of resistance, it does look to be as if it can actually have a really positive week next week. So that is SOFI Technologies, a stock in which you should definitely have a keen eye on for the week commencing the 9th, and potentially even forward from that. This isn't really such a time sensitive video, but this is definitely a stock in which should be on your watch list. So now AMD, or Advanced Money Destroyer, however you would like to see it. This is a stock in which, if you know me, you know I've been very short on for a while now, and it has paid off, but now I do think it's time that this might reverse. I do still think this stock looks massively overvalued, but there is still a lot of momentum forming for this stock. So last week we really saw this struggle massively to break through the 119.21 level of resistance. It bounced off of it a few times and went straight back down, so that is actually quite a negative. That definitely shows that there is a potential for this to actually fall off from here. Again, I've been saying to watch this level, because when it does finally close above this level, if it closes around 120, then there is a definite confirmation that this could be breaking out. And to further that, if you are more cautious, then I think it's safe to say that you should be waiting for around the $124 level to really understand if this stock is going to be breaking out. But I think the 120 level will be sufficient for most people. So if we do actually look on a EMA, it's now above all of the exponential moving averages apart from the 200-day. I think that is probably what will push the stock further up when it's ready. Essentially, I think a lot of investors are waiting for this 200 to cross over now. On a MACD, my MACD, it's in a long position currently, and if we do actually look at the standard MACD, oh my god, I'm having a nightmare right now. So if we do actually look at the standard MACD, it is somewhat in a very volatile situation. It's in a short position currently, which is fair, but it's basically trading sideways according to this momentum indicator. So next week will definitely be an important week for AMD, and if we do actually look at the price targets, then it does look to be undervalued according to the analysts, suggesting an average of a potential 10% upside from these levels here, so probably a 3 to 4% upside from here on average, and there's a high of a 72% upside, which I think is a bit absurd. So AMD, is it undervalued? Well, according to me, no, it's definitely not. I mean, it's trading at a 50 PE. When you compare that to its peers, it's not undervalued. Bullish crossover on the MACD, well, yes, and ish on the standard MACD, yes, according to mine, and ish according to the standard. 50-day EMA, yes. Where's the mouse gone? Yes. 200-day, no. That's something in which I really think will push this up when it does cross over. Analysts rate it undervalued, yes, and bullish confirmation, well, not quite. I think it's definitely looking to be bullish, but it's really struggling to get above that price target. So for me, I think a level of, when I can actually figure out to move my head again, a level of $123 to $124 is an actual, wow, that was a really bad job of circling, but that is a really sustainable level to be approaching AMD at, just because I feel as if even when it breaks this level of resistance here, there's still a big potential that it might actually just end up falling straight back down. But there is a potential of a 15% upside to the next serious level of Fibonacci resistance. So now looking at Novo Nordisk, this is a stock in which I've also been momentum trading for a bit now, and it doesn't actually look to have a serious set of resistance levels. Obviously the main one is currently set at $79.66, but there is a few just before that, such as the $77 range and the $82.5 range just after. But with its current momentum, I do think it's fair to say that it might actually break through this first set of what do you call it, the resistance next week. It is in a long position on my MACD indicator, and if we do go to the standard indicator here, it's also in a long position with a lot of momentum behind it. So there is a high chance that this momentum will just break through these support levels. I think it is quite likely. And if we look on an EMA here, which I need to really pay for the TradingView Premium, but I'm kind of in protest. I really don't want to. We can actually see that it is above the 20 and 50-day EMA and below the 100 and 200-day EMA, which Obviously, it has seen a lot of selling pressure since its peak here. It is approximately down now 50%, so there is definitely a lot going against this stock. The long-term momentum isn't there, but the short-term could definitely help push this stock through. So if we do go back to the parameter set, is it undervalued? Well, according to me, it certainly is. Is the MACD on a bullish crossover? Double tick. Is it above the 50-day EMA? Wow, that was a bad tick, but yes, it is. Is it above the 200-day EMA? Well, no, it isn't. That is a shame. Analysts rate it undervalued. Well, they actually do. I say actually like that's a surprise. They definitely do. It's quite very much so undervalued according to the analysts. And price target is a I always say the last point wrong, and I wrote this. The price action is a confirmed breakout. Well, currently it is. Obviously, we want to see it break through its resistance levels before we can really say it is, but it definitely is so far, and it's been doing my portfolio quite nice for a couple of weeks now. So in the next coming weeks, I think it's fair to say it will hopefully break through this level of resistance and then climb up to the next one after that. But it's hard to say if it will really rebound that quickly. It most likely won't. It could take a couple of weeks for it, a few months even to the end of the year, for it to really start to reach the second band of resistance, because that's quite a steep bowl effect essentially for the stock to take. It is very uncommon that might happen, especially with a stock like Novo Nordisk, because they are obviously one of the leading suppliers for Ozempic and all the weight loss drugs. There's a lot of controversy behind the company and whether or not their profits are that sustainable, especially when you have figures like Trump saying that they're not particularly safe drugs, that he would never take one. I saw that on a release that he was doing, a press release. It's definitely casting a doubt on stocks like Novo and Eli Lilly, which we will now get onto. Never mind, I lied. We're actually going to be looking at OSCR Health next, so let's quickly go over OSCR. So looking at OSCR Health, we can actually see that there is a potential near 18% upside for this stock at the next level of resistance. So last week it did massively break through this level of resistance here, with this now turning it into a very sustainable level of support. It's fair to say this could potentially break out quite well. There's a lot of talk online at the moment around OSCR. So I actually recently learned it does have links to Donald Trump, which is really interesting, and his family. So there's definitely a lot of money pouring into this stock currently, and there's a lot of hype around it despite the price not looking to be as if it's breaking out. So this could be a massive momentum stock going forward, but I'm really waiting to see a strong confirmation of that, because if you look back in time, this stock is just going sideways. So I really do want to see it break through this level of support before you can really say this is a breakout stock. There is a average, not an average, but I see a lot of price predictions around the $30 mark, which if we do actually look at where that is from here, it is nearly a 100%. We didn't need to do that because that's obvious. It's just timesing 2, but there's a 2x potential within this stock, essentially, according to a lot of people. Whether there actually is or not, that's for you to decide. I think there is definitely a large upside, maybe not a 2x, that's quite significant, especially for this year. But let's actually see what the analysts reckon. Well, on average, they are projecting this to be set at $18, which is a 21% increase, which is fair. And on the max, the analysts are ranking this with a 81% increase over the next 12 months. But before it does actually manage to break through to its next serious level of Fibonacci resistance, I think there's a few more levels of resistance yet to come, such as the 16.22 level, the 0.87 and the 17.82 level as well. I think it's fair to say that these look to be quite heavy levels of resistance. We're seeing here that the day candles aren't actually managing to close above them, so there is definitely a serious level of resistance here. On the exponential moving averages, it is now above all of them, which could actually be exactly what the stocks need to really push up. Last time we saw this, we saw the stock jump up quite a large amount. Let's actually see what that number is, shall we? So that on that day, OSCR Health jumped up 23%, and now we are just about above all of the exponential moving averages. So Monday could be really good for OSCR Health. And if we do look on a MACD, my own personal MACD, it's not actually in a long position because the RSI obviously ranked it to be overvalued for that time period. So it's fair to say It does have the momentum, but it looked to be overbought at that moment in time. But if we do actually go back and take a look at my level of, well, not my level, sorry, the general level of MACD, again, I really need to buy TradingView. I'm just not going to do it out of pure rebellion. That shouldn't be there. So we can see here that it is in a short position actually on the day chart on the MACD, but it does look to be reversing. So again, coming Monday the 9th, will be a very interesting day for Oscar Health. So is it undervalued? Well, for me, I have this stock to be undervalued, yes. Is it bullish on the MACD? On my MACD it is, and I'm going to put it as a tick here, even though it isn't, because the momentum is definitely on its side, and it will be most likely come Monday. Is it above the 50-day EMA? I can't find the pen. Okay, we're there. So yes, it is. And the 200, yes, it is. Do analysts rank it undervalued? Yes, they do. Is there a bullish breakout currently? I really do need to change this wording because I struggle to say it every time, and I wrote this. Well, not really. There isn't really a bullish breakout. It definitely has somewhat broken out, but I'm definitely going to put this at a no for now, because there needs to be more validation before we can really say that there has been quite a big breakout. So for a sustainable level to be buying this stock at, if you're cautious, I would be waiting for the $16.87 range, and if you're less cautious, I would either buy in now or wait for the $16.22 range. But again, this is not financial advice. That this is your own decision. So now we are going to be moving on to Eli Lilly, as I promised just before. So let's move on. So Eli Lilly does look to be correlating relatively nicely with this momentum line in which I drew. I need to learn to speak English clearly. So I do expect this stock to probably end up around the $901 range, which is a potential 20% upside. The analysts rank this to have a potential 50% upside over the next 12 months. But I do think we will meet a serious level of resistance here around August. And if it manages to push through that, then it will just continue to rally. For the actual now, what do you call it, a level of resistance, I do expect there to be a serious level coming up. Where is this indicator? Bear with me. Okay, after many hours, I have finally found the indicator. So the next serious level of resistance is at 970. I've said that wrong. 797, sorry. So it's clear to say that that does look to be the next serious line of resistance, but there could definitely be another set of resistance within the near future of around, actually it's not even in the near future when we think about it. It looks to be as if this stock could absolutely rally up from here up until this next serious level of resistance, because I'm not seeing any clear signs of resistance. Maybe we will see a bit of resistance around the 784, but it doesn't look to be that significant. Maybe when you do go back very far, it does look to be as if it could be, but I'm not buying it. I'm really not. So it does look to be as if this stock could really rally up to this next level of serious resistance, Fibonacci resistance, and from there it could go, I'm going to say it, parabolic. This is my new favorite word. If you like this channel, you better get used to me saying it, because I'm just going to end up saying it more. So on an exponential moving average, this is where it doesn't look too particularly great for this stock. It's barely just above the 20-day exponential moving average, with it tickling the 50-day and nowhere near the 100 and 200. But once they do cross over, there could be a lot of momentum pushing this stock up, as we have seen correlating nicely in the past for this stock. And according to my indicator, it's actually in a short position on the MACD. I know that's a bit difficult to really read with all the horrible looking lines I've got going on here. Let's just delete these, shall we, because you get the point. So it is actually in a short position on the my MACD, and if we go to the standard MACD, it's in a long position. So short term there is momentum, but long term we are definitely not looking to have that much momentum. So let's go over what we expect. So Eli Lilly undervalued in my opinion. If you want to see why I think these stocks are undervalued, by the way, because you might be thinking I'm pulling this out on my arse or something, I've done analysis, long analysis videos on these stocks to basically confirm this. It's not just I'm pulling this out of thin air. I have analysed these stocks individually. MACD bullish. Well, mine says no. The short term says yes. 50-day, I think that was a no. 200-day, no. Analysts rank it undervalued. Yes. Bullish action so far. Yes. So it looks to be a even spread currently. It could indicate that this recent momentum isn't actually that sustainable, but I don't know. I really don't know. It looks to be quite. I'm going to say voluptuous. That's not. I said it completely wrong, but it looks to be really good currently. So finally, Robinhood. Now, I recently did a video on this stock saying it was a great momentum buy, but now, a week later, I'm looking at it slightly different. I still think there is a lot of momentum behind it, and according to the MACD here, we are seeing there is a lot of momentum still. Oh God, I really can't get these indicators to work today, but you can see there is obviously no levels of resistance apart from potentially its all-time high here, which is $83, and that was just a candle wick. That wasn't even the candle itself. So it's fair to say there isn't really a serious level of resistance for Robinhood at the moment, but we have recently seen this stock on Friday just gone close off in quite a weird fashion. So oh God, what am I looking at here? So basically on a minute chart, it spiked up drastically and then shot down drastically as well. It fell off a serious level on Friday, and we are seeing it has reached a level of resistance on this 1 minute chart here. But if we do go to a 15-minute chart, because it's a bit more sustainable, we can see that the next level of resistance is all the way down at $71, which I think is more realistic. So it could potentially bounce down to that level come Monday, and it's worrying because it does look to be as if the momentum is against it currently. If we go back to a day chart to get a clearer long-term picture though, or medium-term picture, we can see that on a MACD, or not on a MACD because I can't pull it up, but on a MACD, it is obviously still in a long position on the day chart, and quite significantly, and my indicator actually indicates that this is actually in a long position as well, which is really good. And the price targets for the stock, it now does look overvalued on average, so there definitely is an element of risk with that, but the exponential moving averages are helping push this stock up. That is essentially the level of support in which this stock currently has. So there is definitely an element of risk with Robinhood now. I actually put a price target in of $76 for this stock before it started to break out, and it has now reached that. And for me, that's normally when I do decide to get out. It did reach it and fell straight back down, so maybe my price target was spot on for this. We'll find out in a couple of weeks, I guess, but let's go to this. So undervalued, well, no, according to, well, maybe-ish, it's fairly valued according to me. MACD bullish crossover, yes, on the day chart. 50-day EMA, yes. 200, yes. Analysts rank it undervalued, not anymore. And, well, bullish breakout, yes. So for me, Robinhood does look to be something in which I am now taking with a serious pinch of caution, because the momentum still looks strong, but there's also a lot of reason for people to start taking profits at these levels. So it does look to be something that I am a bit worried about. But when you do zoom out this stock, the momentum is kind of crazy. So maybe we'll just carry on. Let's find out. So if you have enjoyed this video, and I really hope you have enjoyed this video, then please do consider hitting a like and subscribe, because again, these videos are completely free for you to watch, and it would mean the world if you could join my mini army of stock analysts. Essentially, we're trying to build a mini empire here, so if you could subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. So with that said, I hope you have enjoyed again, and I will see you for the next video in 1 or 2 days.